Far Cry 3 is an open world first person. What? What do you mean this is Far Cry 4? Far Cry 4 is the fourth entry to the Far Cry series developed by Ubisoft Montreal. The game takes place in the fictional Himalayan country of Kyrat, which is a setting that not many games has really explored. It was positively received back when it launched in 2014, but many players called out its copy-paste nature, saying it's too similar to Far Cry 3. Does it still hold up despite those claims? Maybe. Let's play. Kyrat is beautiful. From the big statues, the architecture, the people, you can feel the culture everywhere. The uniqueness of the setting is definitely the selling point for me, and when combined with the realistic graphics, shit looks tight. Damn, Ubisoft still doesn't know how to optimize a PC game. The frames are fine for the most part, but it drops so hard in some areas no matter how many settings I lowered. It's kinda their branding at this point. I think they got a little bit better as of late, but the damage has already been done. Overall, it's a cool setting, looks beautiful, but runs like saggy tits sometimes. If you play Far Cry 3 before, then you know the drill. Do missions for people and shoot dudes to level up, upgrade your skills, hunt to expand your inventory. Basic shit. Being a sequel, there are of course some new mechanics. There's a little copter thing you can ride now that can fly to places pretty quick. Don't fly too high though or you'll blow yourself up. You can use a grappling hook to climb high places like mountains and buildings, and you can even swing like Tarzan, which is fun. There's a karma system. You can level up by helping your faction, the Golden Path, or just people in general. If you have a high enough karma level, you can call backup to help you when shit gets rough. It's kinda unnecessary though. I never used it and I got by fine. I don't know if it's just me, but I noticed that there are a lot more chaotic things going on in the field than the last game, mainly the animals. They will fuck you up as soon as you get an inch close to them. The scariest one is the eagle. For no reason, they'll just fly down and peck at you. If they find anything that's smaller than them, oh god. There's some small differences too. Higher level upgrades need you to do a certain amount of side activities now. Outposts you've taken can be attacked by enemies, so you have to defend them once in a while. The small changes make you feel more engaged than the last game, which is good, and there are even some missions that put you in unique gameplay scenarios. You get to go to the snowy Himalayan mountains, Shangri-La, and there's even a get away from scary thing amnesia level. I'm actually surprised by the variety here, but here's the thing. The majority of the things you'll do in this game you've already done in Far Cry 3. Though the variety and most of the small changes are nice, it doesn't feel worthy to be called a sequel. You've captured outposts before, you've climbed those radio towers, you've done the drug trips and hunting. It feels more like a Far Cry 3.5, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Just samey as someone who has played the last one. The story is about AJ Gale, or DatLJGuy, going back to his mother's homeland to scatter her ashes. Upon entering Kyrat, his transport gets interrupted by the government soldiers under the command of King Pagan Min. After stabbing the fuck out of a soldier for disobeying his orders, Pagan Min acts all friendly towards AJ, almost like his family. Anyway, he kidnaps and brings you to his friend's torture tower where you escape with the help of the Golden Path, the rebels against Pagan Min's dictatorship. Throughout the game, you'll be doing missions for the two leaders of Golden Path, Amita and Sabal, to take back Kyrat. There are variants of the ending that you can change depending on whether you support Amita or Sabal. I guess the hook of the story is that you can choose to support Amita's or Sabal's vision of what Kyrat should be. Amita supports freedom for the women of Kyrat and fields up drugs to boost the economy, while Sabal embraces religion and tradition, but that leads to marrying off young underage girls. Well, at least that's what I got from playing the game. If you choose one side over the other, whoever you don't choose will scold you and call you a piece of shit. They're not likable characters at all. You get to know the bare minimum about them, and most of the time they either tell you to fuck off or kiss you on your good boy cheeks, depending on if you're on their side or not. Just like Far Cry 3, the most interesting characters are the crazy dudes like Longinus, Herc, and Willis. My favorite is Longinus. He incorporates gun names into Bible verses, and for some reason that's the most funny thing in this game. Not only that, he's like the most developed character in this game. Throughout his missions, you learn about his past and why he's in Kyrat. It's no RPG character development standards or anything, but it was enough for me to feel for him. Of course, I can't talk characters without going into Pagan Min. Yeah, he's a crazy motherfucker. Like, literally, he fucked your mom in the game, and that's like half of what the plot is about. Even though he's crazy and charismatic, he doesn't feel dangerous because he's not trying to kill you. He just wants to capture you and get you on his side. The plot does get a bit interesting at the end as Pagan reveals a Shyamalan twist, so it's kinda cool that they did that, even though it's been done before. Our main man AJ is a step down from Jason in my opinion. He's not much of a character, he's just kinda there. In Far Cry 3, we at least get some character development for Jason, from a wimpy bro dude to a murderer bro dude. We know almost nothing about AJ, and that makes it hard to care about him. It wouldn't have been so much of a problem if the plot wasn't so personal. Overall, the story is not bad, even though Pagan Min is not as cool as Voss and some of the main cast isn't too likable, there are still some crazy characters to enjoy. For the DLCs, we have Escape from Durgesh and Valley of the Yetis. Let's go through the first one. Escape from Durgesh is basically a roguelike mode. I don't know how else to describe it, except without the procedural randomness of a roguelike game. This takes place after you climb down the Durgesh prison mountain and fainting. Pagan Min has captured you again, and now you have to get to your rescue helicopter to escape. When you get to the landing zone, you have to defend the helicopter for a bit before taking off. But the thing is, you're super weak starting out, so you have to go around the map, which is just North Kyrat from the main game, to take over outposts to get skill points, weapons, animal skins to get stronger, and do side missions to add mounted guns and traps to the landing zone to defend it better. It's not my thing. You just go around doing the same shit over and over again until you get lucky. And guess what? The thing costs 10 bucks! 10 bucks for what is essentially a cheap game mode using the same map from the base game with no added content. This should have been free. It's not worth the money. This DLC is the definition of insanity. Go buy yourself some Happy Meals or something. Valley of the Yetis is a much better experience. It's a follow-up to Escape from Durgesh after your helicopter crashed on the Himalayas. The pilot is gone and you have no way to contact the Golden Path. Now you have to survive until you get a signal to call for help. It mixes the base defense section from Escape from Durgesh with some traditional style missions of going to a place and popping dudes. There's this guy who wants to kill you even though he has no reason to do so other than you're trespassing. It's kinda dumb to be honest. Just like in Escape from Durgesh, you have to explore the map, it's a new map this time, which is good, to find new weapons and animal skins to expand your inventory and do side missions to improve your defenses of your base. Being called Valley of the Yetis, there are some big Yetis for you to fight. Yeah, there's a bit of a supernatural element here, like that glowing key thing from Far Cry 3. These fuckers are pretty hard to fight. They can rip your anus inside out and cut off the prolapse. Just bring a grenade launcher and LMG with you and you should be fine for the most part. It's standard Far Cry 4 gameplay for the most part. The best part is definitely the base defense. It's boring at the beginning, but shit gets wild when they start throwing a bunch of dudes at you along with like 4 Yetis. It's pretty challenging. It's an alright experience. The ending is weird and I would have liked to see a continuation of that actually, but they probably won't do that at this point. Get it on sale if you're curious. Far Cry 4 is a slightly better version of Far Cry 3, if not a bit samey. Ubisoft added some mechanics and made the gameplay a bit more fun, but not enough to call this a sequel. The story is a mixed bag, Escape from Durgesh is not good, and Valley of the Yetis is okay at best. If you haven't played Far Cry 3 yet, or if you're a hardcore Far Cry fan, get this one. It's a good game. If you played Far Cry 3 before, it's skippable, unless you're really itching for more or if you're into the setting. There's not much reason to play other than those, in my opinion. Okay, that's all for the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in Oonga Boonga Land. Later.